Welcome, these are grammar lessons for Year 3 and 4 children, and this is Week 6, Lesson 2. Our learning objective for this lesson is to plan an informal letter. So by the end of this lesson, you will know the features of an informal letter. You will also know what might be included in an informal letter, and you will even be able to use a mind map to organise your ideas. We're going to start preparing to write your own informal letter. Now, yesterday's task asked you to think about the informal letters that we read yesterday and make a list of all the features. Now, I gave you 2 tips. I said you needed to think about the language and the organisation, and I also said that there should be at least 8 things on your list. So make sure you've got your list in front of you, and we'll see if there's anything on your list that matches mine. Here are the features of an informal letter, and these are going to be really important for the rest of your work this week. So first of all, an informal letter will include the sender's address on the right-hand side at the top of the page, and it will also include the date. Then an informal letter will start with a greeting, usually dear, but it could be something else. The language will be quite chatty, and an informal letter will include the use of first names or nicknames or abbreviations. You wouldn't normally, or in fact ever, see an informal letter including words like Mr. or Mrs. Informal letters often include questions and personal news and well wishes, and then they will end with the sender's name or signature. I wonder if you got any of the same things as me. Well done if you did. Now, yesterday we looked at 2 informal letters, and we're just going to point out the features that we've listed on these letters so that you can see where they are. Here at the top on the right, we have the sender's address and the date. And then here is the greeting. So the letter starts with dear, and in this case they've used the nickname aunties. And then in this paragraph we've got chatty language, and we've also got a question. How's everyone doing back in cold, drizzly England? Moving on to the second page of the letter. In this paragraph here, there's an example of personal news. The person writing the letter is telling the receiver of the letter something about themselves or what's going on in their lives. And then there are some well wishes here. Hope you're all well. And finally, the letter ends with love and the sender's name. Here's the second letter that we looked at yesterday, and again you can see in the top right hand corner we have the sender's address and the date. On this occasion, the person writing the letter has used dear and then the person's first name, Howard. And there's an example in this paragraph here of some personal news. On to the second page, we have got some questions in this paragraph here and some really chatty language. This is the sort of language you would use with someone that you knew really well. Here we've got some well wishes, good luck, and we're looking forward to hearing more of your news. And then finally, this person ends with lots of love, Auntie Vera. They finish with their name. So all the features that we listed at the beginning of this lesson, you can see in these 2 letters. Now, we said at the beginning of this lesson that we were going to start preparing to write your own letter. And today your task is to plan the letter that you're going to write. So, first of all, I want you to decide which friend or family member you are going to write to. It could be anybody, as long as you know them well and you know their address so you can send them the letter. If you are really stuck, you can always write to me and send it to school. I'll be very happy to read your letter. Second, once you've decided who you're going to write to, I want you to create a mind map of all the things you would like to write to them about, including questions you could ask. Here's an example of a mind map that I've written for my letter to Year 3 and 4 children that I'm going to write. You can see that on the left-hand side here, I've included the questions that I want to write. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. And down here, there are 4 pieces of news that I'm going to include in my letter. Now, I've not written in full sentences, I've just written some notes down. This is just a chance for you to have a think about your letter before you actually write it, and we'll be writing our letters tomorrow. So the better your plan, then the easier it will be to write your letter tomorrow. I've said at the top there that you can borrow any of my ideas. Now obviously my news is probably going to be different to yours, but some of these questions that I've asked here you might want to use too if you're stuck for ideas. Good luck, and I will see you tomorrow.